Hey, thanks for joining me again. Today I'm sharing with you my thoughts about the REI Co-op Trail 40 backpack. Initially I had very low expectations about this backpack, and my thoughts about it have changed drastically since I've had it. I'm going to start off by saying I really like this backpack. It retails for $109 at REI. It's an interesting pack in that it is kind of a hybrid backpack. It's a hybrid between a backpacking backpack and kind of a travel pack, and I'll explain what I mean by that. Usually, most backpacking backpacks, first of all, they're quite a bit taller, and they are usually have a drawstring top with like a lid. This one has and on travel packs, typically they zip open like a suitcase, so you can lay it on the bed and just open it up all the way. This one has the zipper structure of like a travel pack, so it does zip open all the way down to here, all the way down to the bottom, and the lid you can just flap open entirely. It also has these little like stoppers so that if you engage these, the zippers will only come down to there. It'll open the lid just to the top, and then you can top load everything if you want. And that's the way that I prefer to use it. There's a ton of features about this pack that are noteworthy, and I'll show you the modifications that I've done to this pack as well to make it a little bit more functional for my purposes. In no particular order, let's see. It's got a little zipper at the bottom here that contains a, what's it called? A rain cover. So if it starts raining on you, you just unzip that, grab it out, and put it over the pack. This is a 40-liter backpack, so it has a gear capacity of 40 liters. Another thing to note is that this pack, there's a men's version and a women's version. In the men's version, it is only available in two sizes. It's available in a medium and a large. And when I say medium and large, I mean torso length. So if your torso, so for me personally, my torso length is about 16.5 inches long. That's the measurement from my C7 bone to the highest point of my iliac crest, or also known as my hip bone. So I'm about 16.5, which puts me into the small category for a torso length. Most people I find have smaller torso lengths. But anyway, despite the fact that this only comes in a medium and large, it does fit correctly when I'm wearing it, so there is some wiggle room with the sizing. Next, one thing that's noteworthy is that although this pack does have these load lifters, they help in terms of dispersing some of the strain off of just the points of connection between the strap and the pack. But they could work better if the pack was a bit taller and these load lifters, when you're wearing it, let me show you something. I'll throw this on real quick. You see how low it sits? If it was a regular backpacking backpack, the top would be way up here, and the load lifters, when I would pull on them, these things should be at an angle going up, and that's what enables these things to work properly at their best. And what they do is they actually pull the weight of the pack closer to your back. So these ones, like I said, they help disperse the weight, the load and the strain off of just these 2 points, but they don't work as well as they could in terms of being able to adjust the distribution of where the weight of the pack is. One other thing that I'd like to see different is, if you'll notice, this pack does not have any compression straps going along the sides like most backpacking backpacks do. So you can't actually compress it smaller in that direction. It would be nice if you could, but in this case you can't, and whatever, it is what it is. Let's see. One other thing that I'd like to see different is, although it's cool that it's got these little hooks, as stoppers for the pack, also has these like compression straps. They make use of a lot of these like metal hooks and metal pieces for some reason on this pack. I don't think it's the best type of fastener, if you can see that. So it's got this metal hook. I find it's a little bit challenging to actually fit it back in there. to engage it. I think it would be better if they just used like those standard plastic clip buckle things that you just squeeze and it pops out. I find those to be a lot easier to use. So that's one change I'd like to see done. Let's see. It's got this, it comes with this webbing so that you can add, like I did, this shock cord. The shock, as I said, the shock cord did not come with this pack. I added that on separately. One thing that another thing this pack has, it has a zipper right over here. And it's like a fully mesh zippered area, so you can stash like wet gear and stuff in there. When I added the shock cord, it kind of gets in the way of the accessibility of that pocket a little bit. But yeah, let me show you a few other pockets and things that this has. So this pack has a something I really like is that it has this compartment for the hydration pack, or let's put it this way, it has a hydration bag sleeve. So, and I like that it's accessible from the outside of the pack, that you don't have to actually zip it open in order to get it from the inside. That's good for two reasons. It makes it easier to isolate it in case the bladder pops, and then it, you could put it inside a waterproof bag and then it won't soak everything else. But even more so than that, it's just it's a lot easier to put a bladder in and out of a backpack if you don't have to unzip it to access it, I find. Let's see, a couple other features. Has a zippered compartment right up here on the top that you can stash things in, and inside there's like a little key hook leash thing. And it has another zippered compartment right over here on the side. Nice big spacious one. It's like a tube shape right over here. A couple more mesh pockets. It's got one on the left side, and it's got two on the right side, a deep one and a shallower one. Those came in very handy for me. While I actually took this backpacking up in the Sierras, and it performed really well, actually. Another thing that I love about this pack is the hip belt. It's got these two pockets on the hip belt. Nice big pockets too. This one is fully enclosed on the right hand side, and on the left hand side it's a mesh pocket, so nice versatility there. Good buckle. The suspension on this pack, it's pretty simple. It's got a very flexible back panel, and when you load it up with the gear, it gets nice and stiff as well. And then in terms of padding, it feels pretty good overall. It's pretty well padded. Although it has a decent suspension system, it doesn't have any kind of metal frame or anything, so it's not quite as stiff as it could be, and therefore it doesn't carry the load quite as well as it could. I just backpacked with this pack up in the Sierras with 34 pounds of weight in it, and it performed pretty well overall. Let's see, a couple other features. Let me open this thing up and I'll show you. I'm just going to take out the things that I have inside of it, and then I'll show you how it all works. Okay. So on the inside of this pack, it has, so as you can see, I opened it up with those buckles engaged, and you can see it opens up like a top-loading backpack. Now if I unbuckle those, it'll unzip all the way. And you know what, I'll just show you that so you can see. So it unzips all the way down to the bottom. Another cool thing about this zipper, actually, is that it has those same zippers. They have these little zippers at the bottom end too, so you can go from the bottom to the top to access the inside if there's something just at the bottom that you want to get to without having to, unzip the whole pack. I personally haven't ever found myself wanting to use that feature, but it's nice that it has it. Let me zip this down. You can see what we got going on here. So, as you can see, this thing opens up all the way. And inside, it has got a great big sleeve in here that you can put whatever you need, but it appears that it's large enough to put a smaller laptop in it. It also has this elastic shock draw cord here. I'm not entirely sure what the great advantage of having that on the inside would be. So if you know, please let me know what your thoughts are. It has a mesh pocket over in here. I found that that was a fantastic place for organizing my socks. And then it also has, here on the lid, back over at this point, it's got another great big mesh pocket on the underside of the lid. So it's got the pocket accessible from the outside over here, and the pocket accessible, the mesh one accessible from the inside. Depending on what you're trying to load in there, I find that you can kind of use one or the other. If you're just putting, like, you know, a couple small compressible things on the inside, it's fine. But then if you put too much in one of them, it kind of inhibits your ability to put it in the other one, especially mainly if you have a fully loaded pack. Now, a couple modifications that I'm sure you are seeing here that I've done. Like I said, it's got that hydration sleeve that's accessible to put a hydration bladder into. But I've kind of, I mostly use water bottles over hydration sleeves for a number of reasons. So I've attached a couple of these like water bottle cozies to the front, and then I can just drop in my plastic water bottle, and it's accessible. I can drink it on the go. And then I just attached a sunglass hard case as well, because I find that it's incredibly valuable to not have broken sunglasses when you need them. And I used to smash through sunglasses until I started using these. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I really like this pack. I've been very happy with it. Oh yeah, I also wanted to show you a couple other things. So it's got a couple loops down here, and you can use them for attaching your trekking poles. So you can put the tail end of the trekking pole in there, you twist it around once, and then the handle part you just cinch down in that little buckle right in here. You just fasten that down. So you can put one of those, it's got one of those for each side, okay? Or you can use it in the same way for an ice axe, which is what I just did the other day. And then it also has these compression straps. So it has compression straps on the bottom and compression straps on the top. The ones on the top, like I said, they make use of that metal buckle, which, like I said, I'm not that crazy about. But the bottom ones just have a regular plastic buckle that you just cinch down. And I like that system a little bit better. And that's pretty much it. I think I covered all the bases about this pack. Let me know if you got any questions. I do think that overall it's a brilliantly designed pack. And initially I had very low expectations about it, but it by far not just met, but exceeded my expectations about the performance of this pack. Feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.